What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel, Billy B Cooking. Thank y'all for coming. This is the first video of my channel, so y'all get to be a part of something great. Great food, actually. Today we're cooking Cajun Shrimp Alfredo, homemade Alfredo, right? We're gonna use egg noodles. I was gonna make noodles from scratch. You know, it's not that hard, really. Just a lot of flour, some eggs, egg yolk, mix it all together, make a dough, proof it, blah, blah, blah. But to be honest, I'm hungry. And, this is a great substitute. Egg noodles, if y'all ever heard of them, they're kind of in between the box pasta and homemade pasta. Like, they're made with real egg, and they take less time to cook, and they're more filling. They're delicious. So, what else we got? We got homemade. Well, somebody made it. They might not live there, but we got Parmesan Reggiano, fresh. We got about 3 big cloves of garlic that I'm almost poured out. There's a Winn-Dixie by my house. I went to get fresh raw shrimp so I can show you how to cook it. All they had. Winn-Dixie, you disappoint me. Like, I love Winn-Dixie's a cool store. It depends on which neighborhood you live in. Anyway, all they have was these cooked medium ones, which is fine. But since they're already cooked, I'll show you. I'm going to just heat them up really high heat in the skillet so I can add the seasonings to the shrimp. And then we're going to remove the shrimp and then make our Alfredo sauce in that same pot, and then we'll take the egg noodles and then blend it all together, put the shrimp back in, it'll be great. So for the seasoning for the shrimp, is like I said, it's blackened Cajun shrimp. So we're going to start with some shrimp and crab oil. It's concentrated. Be careful with this. It's good, but you don't want to overdo it. But you definitely want some of this. We're going to use some fresh cracked black pepper for the Alfredo sauce. And we have Zatarain's blackened seasoning. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. And of course, we're going to have our butter and heavy whipping cream to make the Alfredo sauce. It's going to go pretty quick. So I'll go ahead and get the noodles on. And we'll fry up the shrimp with all this stuff. And people ask me all about it, like, Billy, why are you wearing a chef's coat? You never went to culinary school. You've only been cooking about 4 or 5 years at the house. You've only been taking pictures of your food about a year. What are you doing with it? Leave me alone. I like to be pretty sometimes. But anyway, honestly, try this recipe. You will surprise yourself with how good you can make it too. And feel free to add your own seasonings. Like I said, these Cajun seasoning, I'll probably slap your mama a little bit. Don't worry, she asked for it by name. But feel free to use whatever seasonings you want to. Make it your own dish. I mean, these are just basically the basics. And like I said, I'm hungry, so I'm fixing to make me some dinner. And I'm glad y'all are here to watch. Going along with me. And let's get started. First, the pan for the noodles. I said pan. I meant pot. I'm sorry. There's something wrong with me. Go fill it up with a bunch of water. Then we're going to let that warm up. The pan for the shrimp. We're cooking in this pan first. Blue Diamond Cookware. Love y'all guys. So we're going to cook in this pan, the shrimp. That way it's big enough so when we take the shrimp out and we do the Alfredo sauce in it, we can put the noodles in, put the shrimp back in, things ain't boiling over the top, you know what I mean? Use a little bit bigger pan than you think you're going to need. Alright, we got about 2 tablespoons of water. I'm just kidding. Just put however much water you want that you know is going to soak your noodles in and be at least 2 inches over the top of your noodles. And you want to heavily salt the water. It's going to just take a little whisk. And if you use a non-stick like I am today, make sure you use a silicone. I mean, if you got a Whole Foods in your area, well, you basically need a trust fund or inheritance to afford a shop there. But if you do got that, go to Whole Foods. Is amazing, y'all. They got some of the best foods. Everything's fresh. Like they got a name to the whole back. But go to Whole Foods if you can. They got dry aged steaks at Whole Foods. All right, so we got the oils and stuff in there. With this shrimp, we're going to. Since it's already cooked, I'm not worried about cooking it on one side, flipping every single piece. I mean, it's all cooked. So I'm gonna just throw it all in there. Then I'll put my seasonings in there. Turn that down a little bit. So we're gonna slap somebody's mama at first, and I'm not condoning violence. It's the name of the thing. It's a great Cajun seasoning. It even says on the side, Cajun seasoning. So after you get the slap in there, then you get the blackened seasoning. Zatarain's is a great brand. Most of their products are amazing. Then you put the blackened seasoning on the shrimp. Then, for the most part, your shrimp seasoned up. You just gotta get it warmed up while waiting on this pasta water. Come on now. Come on. And you don't want to put too much. You know what I mean? Like, as far as the bacon grease, I use maybe 3/4 of a teaspoon of bacon grease. And then as far as this here, I probably added same, about 1/4 of a teaspoon. All right. We're just heating this up. Actually, I'm just gonna let that ride for a minute because waiting on this pasta water. It's gonna take a little bit long. I should have started that first, but it's a work in progress. It's my first video. Like I said, thank y'all for being here. You get to see the good, the bad, and I'll fix it next time. All in the same video. I'm gonna put this back in the refrigerator because I don't want it to get warm on me. I'm very, very conscious about my milk products and meat products staying at temperature. You know what I mean? The butter, you can leave the butter out, let it get soft. I always recommend using unsalted butter. Right? Unsalted butter is perfect because for one, it's got a higher smoke point, so you can cook at a higher temperature before you burn your butter up. For two, there ain't no salt in it. So as you're cooking, you can taste your food, see if you need to add salt, and then salt ain't putting too much salt. The butter ain't putting too much salt in it, but I need to. Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. All right. And since it's pre-cooked shrimp, it's got some water in it, you know what I mean? So you kind of want to cook the water out too. Low and slow. I'm doing about medium, a little past medium, just a hair past medium. That's soaking up this juice oils here. That is good stuff. We got no more slap your mama and blackened season. We'll just leave that out. You might want to put a touch more later on as we go. Put some in your pasta. Just make sure you're drying this out, and everything's looking good so far. Garlic, I'm gonna put the garlic back up too. I don't want it to dry out while it's sitting here waiting. The cheese, the Romano cheese. and put the cheese in here. I'm gonna go ahead and shred the cheese and show you how I shred cheese. It's a little bit different than most. Watch this. Alright, the cutting board is in the dishwasher, but it normally sits right here. It covers all the stuff. But this is a cool thing I found on Amazon, right? So it's got, each canister's got its own blade thing. And just put it right there. And then put your container underneath it. Take your cheese. Wait a minute, let me get one of these. Perfect. Then the cheese, watch this. This is the fun part. You just grate it. Because it's great. You have finely grated Parmesan. And then when you finish grating the cheese, you just throw this in the dishwasher or the sink. I always like to wash as I go. You know, that way you ain't got so many dishes to do after. Alright, pause. That's why all my homies who ain't here. They would love this food. But anyway, like I said, after you get finished grating the cheese, look what you're left with. Oh my god. It's so beautiful. Like I said, it's about maybe a third of the block. Like this stuff goes a long way. And that's all I'm gonna need for the sauce. So we're good with this. I gotta wash this to now, but go ahead and, as all chefs do, put it in a pretty container so you think I'm better than the average home cook, which I'm not. They just make it look cute. They pre-chop and cut everything and just put it in pretty canisters and makes a quicker video. It does. But I had this out to do that, so there you go. Alright, so our shrimp, I turned the heat down. I didn't tell y'all that, but we're trying to get a crisp on one side, but we ain't gonna burn it. Still waiting on the water. So what I'm gonna do, transfer that over here since it's on the heat. Let that sit for a minute. Actually, I don't have a sliding spoon, but I'm gonna use this basket because I don't want to take none of the seasonings of the juice out of the pan, because that's what we're gonna make our Alfredo sauce with. Be careful not to scrape the pan with this. I mean, you know, this is metal, non-stick and all that, but like I said, somehow, some way, don't have a slotted spoon at the moment, but look at that good seasoning. So, and we'll be right back with cooked pasta as we do the sauce. Alright, so we got our noodles boiling, finally, just the thing wasn't plugged in. Now what we're going to take this amazing stuff here, and we're going to add our butter, add our garlic, and then heavy cream. Mix all that up good. Add the cheese. The cheese will thicken the sauce up too. And Parmesan cheese has a lot of salt in it, so that's another reason we're using unsalted butter, because we don't want to oversalt the dish. You get oversalted, too salty Alfredo, it's not that. No, you won't like it. So, all right, so we're going to warm this back up, going in with our butter, and we're going to save say about how much of our butter? Or at the end? We're going with this much butter. About 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of butter. From what the paper says. Get all that good fond up out of there. Melt this butter down. Let's incorporate all the flavors you see in the pan. If you gotta rub the sides with it, rub the sides. Hey, oh, look at there. Daylight. Sorry about that. Like I said, work in progress. First video. I appreciate y'all sticking with me. Those who are still here. Those who ain't here, I know where you live. I got the algorithm or something. So, just melt your butter, right? Because butter is like olive oil too, or any oil. It's a fat, basically. So it's going to be delicious, basically. So now that we got that going, turn it up to around medium-ish. Just watch your heat, because I think unsalted butter I think is good up until like 300 degrees Fahrenheit. So you don't want to have too much heat in there. You don't want to burn your butter or overcook it. You just want to melt it, right? Then we're going to add our garlic in there. And the garlic, for one, it's delicious. But for two, you don't want to burn your garlic. If you put garlic in a dry pan, you can only leave it in there about 15, 20 seconds. And once you start to smell it, you better put some liquid on it, because it'll burn and turn nasty real quick. It'll get bitter. You ever had bitter garlic? Yeah. Now don't forget to stir your noodles. Make sure everything's off the bottom, well incorporated. Mix the salt up. Salt's probably diluted in there. Oh, got my jacket dirty. I'm a chef now. Not proud. Not trying to offend any real chefs. I learned a lot from a few different chefs actually that I highly respect. So no disrespect to them. I'm just playing. This is my grandma's jacket. She just let me hold it. All right. Once you start to smell that garlic, oh my gosh, I wish y'all could smell it. Turn it down just a hair. Once you get smelling that garlic, let's go in with the heavy cream now. And the heavy cream, we're probably going to use about a cup. All right, that's going to be the main. Around a cup. Watch your noodles. Watch them. They're not watching you. That's going to be delicious. Okay. Now to get your cream in there. Oh, look at that sauce, yo. See how it's orangey and this is another thing too. This ain't authentic Italian Alfredo. This is American Billy B Alfredo. Now we're just going to cook that. Once you start to see it simmer, that's what we want. We want some bubbles in this. That lets us know that it's cooking down, reducing, if you will. All right, the noodles are starting to worry, so I think they're done. We're going to drain them. Hoist. You got to do the famous check, right? Oh, I hate this part. It's going to hurt. Ow! Oh, dude, that's perfect. All right. A little al dente, a little softer than al dente, which is what I like. I never liked al dente. It's like I ain't trying to crunch up or chew my damn pasta too long. So, focus on this here, because this right here is where it's at. We're going to turn this up about medium high. Like, you ever heard of southwest? So it's kind of medium high. Of course, it's not medium high. It's in between. It's like ain't even 3/4 of a tank of gas. So let that come to a simmer, baby boil, if you will. And we're gonna have some Kool-Aid. Oh, that's so delicious. All right, our shrimp's cooked. I ain't worried that it's sitting here kind of cooling off because we're going to incorporate it back into the sauce once we get the sauce where we want it. Then we'll add, we'll add the Parmesan cheese first. Then we'll add the shrimp. Nope, we'll add the pasta, then the shrimp. See, I just work as I go. That's what's so easy about my videos. Like, you play with it, you can't mess it up. All right, turn it back down to medium now that we got our little boil on. That's all we want. Right, sauce is doing what it's supposed to do, and that's cooking. Like I said, have it on medium, let it cook down. The more it cooks down, it's going to get a little more dense in your sauce. That's what you want. The pasta, I'm going to go ahead and put that in the same pot. And don't forget about your sauce. You don't want to overcook it. Turn it down a little bit. And actually, I'm going to put that on low, medium, if that makes any sense. It's like northwest. Because when I add the Parmesan, you don't want to burn it. You don't want to burn your cheese. And if you put it in too hot, put your cheese in too hot, then it'll separate. The oils and the cheese will separate, and you'll have an oily sauce. And you don't want that. You don't want that. So either turn this down way low, or turn it off. And then the residual heat from the pan will melt your cheese when you put it in. So let that do this thing some more. While it's doing that, I'm going to add some cracked black pepper. I love cracked black pepper. You know, if you use fresh peppercorns and just, grind it, it gets a little more of a pepper bite to it. It's a little more fresh and pepper. And I think the shrimp look good, but I'm going to blacken the sauce a little bit. More. So you get a little bit of bubbles, which is good. So, like I said, the heat's not on now. I got it on low. I'll put it on low so you can add the Parmesan now. And the Parmesan, just add a little bit at a time. Just add a little bit at a time, incorporate it into the sauce. A little bit at a time. Let it melt, but not separate. Man, this is going to be so good. So good, y'all. This is my favorite dish. Like if I go to a restaurant, normally this is what I'm looking for on the menu. There's some kind of Cajun chicken or Cajun shrimp pasta. Alfredo. Get all that out. There we go. Incorporate that. Let it thicken up a little bit. All right, now we're getting nice and thick. Now here's the time you're gonna taste your sauce before you add everything to it. My spoon low. Just need one of y'all. You see how that coats the back of the spoon? That's what you're looking for. Let's see. Oh my God. Mm. Mm. Oh, that's delicious. Okay. Alright, it's got the perfect amount of salt to it. It's got a little kick too. So I think I'm gonna add some slappy mama. Just a little bit more of this here. Alright. I know we got the shrimp coming, that's gonna have it too, but gosh dog. Alright. Y'all gonna love this recipe. Right, so we got that in there. Just gonna get the shrimp. Get those in there, get them warm. And then go ahead and add the pasta. A little bit at a time. Oop. All right. Everybody's looking good. It's all separating. It ain't sticking together. That's good. Some more pasta in there. Now the exact measurements won't be at the bottom in the comments. Cause like I said, I was hungry. I'm just throwing this together, just showing y'all love. A little love, what I like to do at my house. Now this is pretty and all, but I'm gonna add a little bit more cracked black pepper because one, I just like to see the different flavors in what I'm cooking. Just fold it. Just fold it. You ever seen that episode of Schitt's Creek? Just fold it. If you say fold one more time, what does that mean? It just means turn it over. Just stirring, basically. Folding is fold it over on top of each other. Get all that sauce to incorporate with each other. Alright. Now, we're done with this, baby. So, like I said, I just want to add a little more pepper. Just so I can see it. Same thing with my mashed potatoes. I just like to see that pepper's in there. You know what I mean? And it does give it the flavor too. But if I can't see the pepper, it's not enough. What would be perfect on this is some fresh parsley or some fresh chives. Like you chop your own chives, you know what I mean? Just sprinkle, get a perfect look. But they ain't have none. So I haven't had some parsley on the sly. Now, I'm going to teach you a little something here too that I learned. I don't really need it because I don't really need to do this technique because this ain't steaming. I mean, you kind of feel some warmth coming out there, but it ain't steaming. You know what I mean? If it was steaming, you don't never want to shake your ingredients into a steam because the steam will get into the shaker and you gum all that up. So you just put some in your hand and then sprinkle when you need to. Sprinkle what you need. Ta-da! And this is good for another day. Now, like I said, now that this is done, incorporated, we go ahead and turn the heat off. Everything's warmed up together, it's blended. Now, here's another thing. I don't care what you're making, when it comes to multiple ingredients, like pasta, spaghetti, soups, stews, it is wonderful the night you cook it. Once you put it in the refrigerator, you reheat it the next day, 10 times better. I don't know what it is. I think it's just in the refrigerator, it gives it time to marinate, meet each other, and they form relationships and bonds. Like they're best friends when you take it out of the refrigerator the next day. Cause it's like we done had all this time to spend together. All right, so we got leftover pasta. We ain't gonna throw away. We're gonna do something with it. This is what I'm concerned about. Like I said, I'm hungry, so we're gonna go ahead and make us a bowl and see what this does. Actually, I'm going to put this last tab of butter in there. Remember I told you to save a little piece for the end. So we got that last piece of butter. It's melting, getting all friendly with everybody. Oh, you hear that, y'all? Oh, that's macaroni in the pot right there. Homemade Cajun shrimp Alfredo with egg noodles. But hey, like I said, it's something quick and easy, and you and your family will love it. Let's go ahead and bowl this up, plate this up, if you will. Excuse me. Give a little taste test once we get it in here. And then just for good looks, put shrimp, shrimp, shrimp. So I'm ready to set on top. And you see the steam coming off of the bowl now, right? So I'm going to go and do this again. That lump. All right. This sounds pretty. Let's make it look like somebody who knew what they did was doing. Let's make it look like somebody who knew what they was doing did, even though they didn't. But and a little more blackened seasoning just because it's pretty. And slap your mom one time. All right. So here, excuse the mess. Here's the finished dish. I'm glad y'all took the time to hang with me while I was doing this. It was a work in progress, and I really appreciate y'all. I really thank you for coming to the very first video, Billy B Cooking. Wait, all right, I got the all over. All right, for the taste test. Here we go. We'll get one of these pretty shrimp. We'll get some noodles. They're pretty shrimp. Oh, the steam coming off of that is so hot. It's so mm-hmm. Oh my God. Oh, I'm sorry, it took so long. You can taste the flavors as they develop. Like first the garlic hits you, then the cream hits you, then the Parmesan hits you, then the Cajun just sits with you throughout the whole experience. That is wonderful. Good Lord. And it's got enough blackened seasoning in it. Like I love spicy anyway, so if you're not too into the spicy, you ain't gotta put so much. Or you ain't gotta put any at all. You just use some black pepper. But this will warm me up on a cold night. God, all right. I got to. Sorry, I got to make love to this bowl, so I got to let y'all go. But thank you so much for coming to my very first video on my Billy B channel cooking. You're the first. You're the first ones. So thank you. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. It's something I've always wanted to do. I always wanted to share with people, and y'all the people I want to share it with. So thank you for hanging out with me in my kitchen. I'm going to try to drop a video every Wednesday. So yeah, just come back next week. We'll be cooking something else, and who knows what's going to happen, but it's going to be good. I promise you. I love y'all. Thank you.